Hi everyone, welcome back to Raw FPL. So in this one, it's the Game Week 34 team selection and the free hit is now active. So I'm definitely going to be playing my free hit because otherwise I've got about 2 players playing. So definitely be using my free hit. I'm almost locked in, I'd say. I'm nearly there. There's a few players, kind of just the fringe players that I'm looking at potentially changing. But yeah, in this one, it's the Game Week 34 team selection. So if you do like this one, please do drop a like and hit subscribe if you're new. We're so close to 100 subscribers, so if you can help me get there before the end of the season, yeah, I'll be really, really appreciative of that. So yeah, let's jump into it. So before we look at Game Week 34, let's quickly recap Game Week 33. And I mean, it was a green arrow, so I went from about 280k to 250k, but I still think it's a bit of a fail, to be honest. The bench boost was played, and it was just a weird double game week. Like, not a lot. All of the sort of main players just didn't do much. The defence started off really well. They all kept a clean sheet in the first game. And then the second game, obviously, Kivior went and got a goal. So that was really good. You know, if you went Saliba, it was a bit unlucky because there wasn't much in it between those two. But yeah, I mean, apart from the defence, obviously, De Bruyne, I brought him in. He did blank in both games. Saka didn't even start in the second game. He obviously came off before the 60th minute in the first game. So that was, yeah, really disappointing. I think if you did captain Saka as well, we can count ourselves a bit unlucky. A 4-0, absolute battering of Ipswich. And he didn't, you know, he obviously got subbed before the 60th minute. So that was a bit unfortunate. Rodgers getting the assist in the first game. Salah not doing anything. Salah blanking. Marmoush, he obviously blanked in both games. And he did play pretty much close to 90 as well. In fact, yeah, he played 90 in both of them. So again, I think it was, if you did captain Marmoush, I think it was a good decision, but it was just unfortunate. And then Mateta getting the goal at the end, which I don't really know whether it was good or not because obviously I've got double Arsenal defence. But Mateta getting the goal, getting the clean, getting the 3 points, as well, wiping out the clean sheet from Raya and Kivior. But yeah, the bench boost absolutely terrible. Dan Burn getting the own goal, Konza getting 3, Isak blanking, and then Areola right in the last minute obviously conceded. So the bench boost, probably the worst bench boost I've ever done. Yeah, not ideal at all. So 75 points. I got a massive 6 points from the bench boost. So yeah, didn't go to plan at all. But it was still a green arrow. Up to 250k. Of course, I wanted it higher. You know, there's still a few games left. We've still got 4 game weeks. I think top 100k realistically. I don't know. That's the aim. That is still the aim. But I'm going to have to make some differential decisions, I think, to get there. So that is Game Week 33. As I say, 75 points, up to 250k. So yeah, let's take a look at Game Week 34 now. So this is the team for Game Week 34. So I'll do it kind of bit by bit and just my thought process behind each. So I have been changing quite a bit of this, but I'd say I'm sort of like 80% locked. There might be a few little bit of changes. I'll tell you the positions first that I'm locked on. So I'm locked on Salah. I think, you know, Spurs have got one eye on the Europa League, and they've just been leaking goals. And I think Salah, obviously, they can wrap up the title this game. So I do want Salah. I do want him captain. I think he's the best captain. I think you've got to pick your battles with where to go against Salah, and I just don't think this is one of them. I suppose if you're really, you know, not happy with your rank, then it could be good to go against him. But I just think he's the best captain. Isak, you know, probably second. But yeah, for me, I'm just going to go Salah, captain it. So I'd say Salah's a lock. I'd say Palmer's a lock. There's quite a lot of, you know, talk about going with or without Palmer. But money's not really an issue in this draft. And Everton at home, I know they have been quite good defensively, but we just know how good Palmer can be. I know he's been frustrating recently, but we know there's a decent player in there. And Everton at home, you know, it's not a bad fixture, really. So I'd say Palmer's a lock. Up top, Isak, Cunha, I'd say they're a lock. And to be honest, I think Chris Wood, I'm happy. Lots of people are going without him, but I just think Chris Wood it's home to Brentford. It's a decent fixture. And on penalties, and, you know, the guy, he's been a bit of a machine this season. So I'd say, yeah, Isak, Cunha, Wood, Salah, Palmer are locked. If Alexander-Arnold is set to start, then I think he's a lock as well. I just think we know how explosive he can be. Obviously, a lot of people might not risk it with him because Bradley could start. But I feel like with my rank now, if I want to get top 100k, I need to take some risks. So that's why Trent is in there. Trippier, again, I think he's a lock. If you know, a lot of people are going to have Burn, a lot of people are going to have Livramento, but money's not really an issue with this. And Trippier is basically the lower owned one. He's on set pieces, so yeah, I do think with a free hit, I don't think in terms of like assets, like money wise, like in terms of value, he's good. But just for 1 week only, when money's not an issue, I think Trippier is the better option compared to Livramento. So yeah, Trippier obviously shares good as well, but a lot more goal threat. But for me, I just want to go with Trippier. So they're the ones that I'm pretty happy with. As I say, I've got most of them, I think. So that's 8 out of the 11 players there. The 3 that I'm unsure on are Harvey Barnes in midfield, Sessegnon in defence, and then Jose Sarr in goal. So they're the 3 that I'm a bit unsure about. If Sessegnon, because he's been playing right wing, so a right winger, class as a defender against Southampton, it just sounds so good. But there is obviously a chance that Harry Wilson, who's back now, could start. But I just think it's one of those where I should just take the risk, especially, the rank I'm at and I want to get to top 100k. I need to go differential a bit. So I think if you want to take a punt, Sessegnon could be that guy. Defender, playing as a winger, it just sounds really good. So yeah, I'm pretty set. But as I say, if we get any word that Wilson might start, then that could put me off. If you're trying to protect rank, you could just go for like Robinson. That's a good option as well. But if you're trying to chase rank, Sessegnon could be that guy just to fire you up. I mean, a goal or 2. If you've got 2 goals, if you've got a brace, that'd be, just send you absolutely flying up the ranks. So Sessegnon, I do want to play. But then the only other option, really, Aït-Nouri I don't have in this draft. So I'm like, where do I play him? I don't know where to play him. That's the only problem. Because I definitely want Trippier, I definitely want Trent, and I do think I want Sessegnon. But then where does Aït-Nouri come into this? So I could play, I could go for a back. I could go for a back 4, but it just doesn't feel right doing that as a back 4. Jota as well. Jota, I think I will be going with, just because again I want to chase. I'm chasing rank now. If Jota is starting, then Tottenham at home is a really good fixture. So that's why I've got Jota in there. If you want to play it safe, you just go for like Diaz. But chasing rank, I'm going to go for Jota. But yeah, Aït-Nouri, I do want to play him, but I don't know where I can put him in, because I think Trent's a better option. I think Trippier is. And if Sessegnon is playing right wing, then I think he's a better option. So at the moment, he's on my bench. So yeah, let me know what you think. But I'm currently benching Aït-Nouri, and that's why I've got Jose Sarr in there. Just because at least I'll have a bit of Wolves cover. So if Aït-Nouri does get the clean sheet, at least obviously Sarr will get the clean sheet, but he is flagged. So my backup keeper is Leno, which I'll just have a double up on Fulham, which is kind of fine. And then Harvey Barnes is the other one. So Gordon is obviously back now, but I just think Harvey Barnes has been playing so well that he should start. If you want to play it safe, you go for Murphy. If you want to take a punt, then I think it's Barnes. And for me, like I say, I think I need to chase rank, so I'm going to go for Barnes, I think. If there's any word that, he's not starting, then I can just change that for someone safe like Murphy. So that's how the team is looking. Sarr in net. Currently got a back 3 of Trent, Trippier, Sessegnon. I've then got the 4 midfield, Barnes, Palmer, Jota, Salah, captain. And then I've got the 3 up front, Isak, Cunha and Wood. I think it looks good. It's just Aït-Nouri scares me a bit at home to Leicester. And we know how attacking he is. It's just I don't know where to put him in. I could potentially get Aït-Nouri instead of Trippier. And then I could play Pope. That is definitely an option. But then, you're leaving out Trippier, who's got Ipswich at home. But that could be an option. Get Pope instead there. And then I've got Aït-Nouri as well. But for now, yeah, I think I'm going to play this. I'm going to have Sarr in net, and then I'll play Trippier as well. So yeah, as I say, I'm pretty locked with most of them. Jota is the differential pick, really. Sessegnon's differential pick, and Barnes. So I think the rest of them are fairly template, but then I'm just taking a few risks. I feel like Wood as well, he might not be as highly owned as people think. So I think Wood at home to Brentford could be definitely a good shout. But for me, if you're chasing rank, rather than going for like a Robinson, you go for Sessegnon. Rather than going for a Diaz, you go for Jota. And then rather than going Murphy, you go for like Barnes. So yeah, that's how I was looking. If you aren't free hitting, then obviously I think the main teams to target, you are looking at kind of Newcastle, because they presumably will be tripled up on them anyway, because they've had doubles and things. But if you don't have triple Newcastle, I think that's the way to go. And then I do still think Salah. If it's between, for example, Salah and Palmer, I definitely think Salah's the one. So yeah, I'll leave it on there anyway. If you did like this one, please do drop a like and hit subscribe if you're new. And I'll catch you again after the deadline. What I'll do is I'll put in the comments the actual draft that I go with. But yeah, I'm saying 80% locked on this. But yeah, it's going to be, I think, there's going to be so many different variations. There's going to be the template kind of 7 or 8 players, and there's going to be lots of different fringe players. So yeah, best of luck everyone, and I'll catch you again after the deadline. So yeah, thank you for watching. Cheers.